Jim Ratcliffe's brutal email to Man United staff in full after discovering disgrace on club tour. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been on a tour of Manchester United's Carrington training ground, and the Red Devils co-owner was not impressed with what he saw. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has ordered Manchester United staff to clean up their act after branding some areas of the stadium and training ground a disgrace. Ratcliffe, who is in charge of football operations at United after investing £1.3 billion to buy a minority share in the club, delivered his scathing assessment after a two-day tour of the facilities. In a blunt email sent to all United staff, Ineos chief Ratcliffe said he would not accept the untidy scenes that greeted him and ordered employees to raise standards of cleanliness in their respective departments. The brutal email from Ratcliffe is his latest move to improve the culture at United across all areas of the club and take the fallen giants back to the top of world football, on and off the pitch. Ratcliffe wrote, "I had a good tour around some of the facilities. I am afraid I was struck in many places by a high degree of untidiness. In particular the IT department, which frankly was a disgrace, and the dressing rooms of the U18 and U21 were not much better. These standards would not come close to what we would expect at Ineos, and we are a chemical company. Manchester United is an elite sporting organisation. It's a small thing in many ways, but unless an organisation has standards and discipline, it will not succeed. I would be grateful in future if we adopt the proper standards of housekeeping everywhere. It reflects poorly on the club if we have visitors, young player parents, new players, and the media, and they see we don't care enough to keep things shipshape." Ratcliffe's ruthless overhaul of United has already claimed several high-profile casualties, including former chief executive Richard Arnold and former football director John Murtough. United have poached Omar Barada from Manchester City to be their new chief executive, starting on July 13, and have appointed Jason Wilcox as their new technical director. The club are also hoping to reach agreement with Newcastle over compensation for Dan Ashworth, who is set to become United's sporting director. Marcus Rashford set for showdown talks with Sir Jim Ratcliffe in bid to solve Man United crisis. Marcus Rashford has endured a poor season with Manchester United, and there is uncertainty over his future at his boyhood club heading into the summer transfer window. Marcus Rashford is reportedly set to hold talks with the new Manchester United hierarchy in a bid to clear the air. Like many of his teammates, Rashford has endured a difficult season and faces an uncertain future heading into the summer transfer window. As reported by Mirror Football, United will listen to offers for Rashford as they plot a squad overhaul after Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his Ineos team took charge. Rashford has managed just 8 goals and 5 assists in 40 appearances this season, a far cry from the 30 goals and 10 assists he managed in a career-best 2022-23 campaign. The 26-year-old striker and his representatives are now set to meet with Ratcliffe's right-hand man Sir Dave Brailsford in an attempt to clarify the situation, according to The Sun. Ratcliffe, Brailsford, and the new look hierarchy, which will include Jason Wilcox as technical director and Dan Ashworth as director of football, are planning to completely reshape the United squad once the transfer window opens on June 14. They are willing to listen to offers for everyone, barring young trio Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and Kobbie Mainoo. Despite his dip in form, Rashford is reportedly valued at £80 million and has previously attracted interest from Paris Saint-Germain. The report states that his relationship with Erik ten Hag has crumbled due to his off-field antics, which included partying in Belfast and missing the FA Cup tie at Newport in January. But with uncertainty over ten Hag's position in the shake-up at Old Trafford, Rashford will resist any attempts to sell him. He wants to stay with his boyhood club and fight for his place in the starting lineup in order to shore up his place in the England squad for Euro 2024. Ten Hag recently jumped to the defence of Rashford following abuse on social media. "I've a lot of sympathy for Rashi, of course," said Ten Hag. "Last year, he had a brilliant season, I think, the best season in his career. He scored 30 goals. This season, he didn't give the performances and people have been very critical. We have to back him, and everyone should back him to get back to the levels of last year. I think he needs the support. We all know what he's capable of, we all have to support and push him. He can do better than this year. We saw that last year when he was really brilliant. I think the fans are always behind us. When we were entering Old Trafford, I heard the reception. Wednesday was louder than I have heard. Also away, always supportive, backing the team, and there's a very good connection between the team and the fans. Robbie Savage's Man United masterplan with 15 exits and 7 signings including Tottenham star. Robbie Savage column, Manchester United could have a busy summer transfer window with new co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe set to lead an overhaul at Old Trafford. New brooms sweep clean, as the saying goes, and there is talk of a wholesale clear-out at Manchester United this summer. With few exceptions, most of the United squad is allegedly up for sale, or at least the club will listen to offers for a large portion of the first-team squad. Now that co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe's refit is nearly complete behind the scenes, the team looks like undergoing major surgery. United have underachieved for a decade because there has been no consistency in their recruitment, no ethos which is integral to the way they play. Ratcliffe's makeover may yet include a change of manager, with Champions League football next season now beyond Erik ten Hag's reach, but whoever is in charge in August, there needs to be a clear transfer policy, and a clear pathway from the academy to the first team. So who stays, who goes, and who should United be trying to sign this summer? These things are not always delivered to order, but if it was down to me, I would be looking at shipping out a dozen, maybe up to 15, of the current first-team squad. And high on my shopping list would be Bayer Leverkusen wingback Jeremy Frimpong and attacking midfielder Florian Wirtz, Crystal Palace winger Michael Olise, Tottenham centre-back Mickey van der Ven, Inter Milan midfielder Nicolo Barella and striker Lautaro Martinez, and Newcastle centre-forward Alexander Isak. Not all of those players will be handed to United on a plate, and in many cases their clubs will fight tooth and nail to keep them. But they would all bring the virtues of pace, youth, dynamism and quality required at Old Trafford. Too many of United's signings in recent years have been past their best, or cresting the hill, when they should have been looking at longer-term investments. Isak has been a star performer at Newcastle, with 23 goals in 36 appearances in all competitions. Along with Van der Ven, a left-sided centre-back with pace to burn, he should be a priority. And Olise looks destined to play for a bigger club than Palace, so United need to play their hand sooner rather than later. Who would I keep of the current United squad? Goalkeeper Andre Onana, fullbacks Diogo Dalot and Luke Shaw, centre-backs Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire and Alvaro Fernandez, who was loaned out in haste in January, are all keepers. I would also keep Willy Cambuala, although he is still young and a work in progress. But I would let Victor Lindelof, Rafael Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Johnny Evans, and Tyrell Malacia go. In midfield, I would keep Kobbie Mainoo, Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, and Amad Diallo, but Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, Sofiane Amrabat, Mason Mount, Donny van der Beek, and Facundo Pellistri would leave. And up front, I would keep Marcus Rashford. He's a Manchester boy who cares about United, and it's only last season that he scored 30 goals, along with Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund. And I would bring Jadon Sancho back from his loan at Borussia Dortmund in a heartbeat. But it's time to part company with Anthony Martial, Mason Greenwood, and Shola Shoretire. Yes, it would be harsh to let Mount go after a season disrupted by injury, but it may be best for all parties if United try to recoup a chunk of their £65 million outlay on him. And although Maguire has his critics, I have liked his commitment, and he stayed loyal to the cause when West Ham came calling for him last August. Those lists, staying and going, amount to a lot of upheaval, and amid that scale of change United may not get instant success. But when they are 26 points off the pace in the Premier League, and finish bottom of a Champions League group containing Copenhagen and Galatasaray, the case for big changes at Old Trafford is powerful. And I suspect Sir Jim's broom has only just started its clean sweep.